In part 2, we will discuss about the beginning of European settlements. In 1498, Vasco da Gama, the Portuguese sailor, reached Calicut. Since then, Portuguese continued to trade with India. In the beginning, Jahangir had very good relations with Jahangir, but slowly, the relations between Jahangir and the Portuguese detained. In 1613, Portuguese pirates attacked Mughal ships and destroyed their cargo. This led to conflict and subjugation of the Portuguese. Other important power who came in India was England. The two English representatives, Captain Hawkins and Sir Thomas Roy, visited Jahangir's court. Jahangir gave them some concessions, and the British set up their first trading settlement at Surat in 1618. So, after the death of Jahangir, his son, Prince Khurram, he became the ruler of India in 1628 after defeating his brothers and took the title of Shah Jahan. So, Shah Jahan's reign was very peaceful, very little war and revolts took place during his time. So, now we will discuss about the Shah Jahan's campaign. When Shah Jahan's campaigns part, we will discuss about when Khan Jahan Lodi, the Subedar of Deccan, revolted, he too was killed. Shah Jahan wanted subdue the Deccan states. There were three states in Deccan, that was Ahmednagar, Bijapur and Golconda, and both three states were very good. Mughals wanted to conquer this state or subdue this state because these states were creating trouble for the Mughals. Shah Jahan wanted to bring them under his control, so he sent his son Prince Aurangzeb to made these states under him. After the short time, all three states came under the Mughal rulers or Mughal throne. So, now we will talk about the last days of Shah Jahan's life was very not peaceful. In 1657, when he fell seriously ill, his illness led a war of succession among his four sons, Dara, Shuja, Aurangzeb and Murad. But in the war that followed, Aurangzeb defeated his brothers and declared himself the Emperor of India in 1658. He imprisoned his father and killed two of his brothers. Shah Jahan died in 1666 after living in captivity for the 8 years. So, now Mughal ruler Aurangzeb became the ruler of India. When he became the ruler of India, he took the title of Alamgir in 1658. So, the political history of the Mughal under Aurangzeb can be divided into two stages. When he became ruler in 1658 and in 1621. Aurangzeb remained in northern India, and during the last 25 years of his rule, from 1681 to 1707, he remained busy in the Deccan, conquering the Deccan states and checking the growing power of the Marathas. So, during the last reign of Akbar, many independent kingdoms rose up. Even Marathas, they revolted against the Mughals. So, Satnamis, Sikh, Rajput, everyone, those who were in power, they revolted against the Aurangzeb or against the Mughals. So, Aurangzeb possessed some of the great qualities, but he failed as an emperor. He was not tolerant toward other faiths. That is why all other people revolted against him. He reintroduced jizya, which led to discontentment among his people. The Jagirdari crisis added fuel to the fire. So Aurangzeb's relation with Sikh was not very good because the ninth Guru of the Sikh Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji criticized the religious policies of Akbar. So he was arrested and brought to Delhi where he was martyred in Chandni Chowk. So this led the relation between Sikhs and Muslims more worst. Then the last Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, organized Khalsa. An open war started between Sikhs and Mughals. Aurangzeb and his successors had to face continuous troubles from the Sikhs. After Aurangzeb's death, his successors failed to check the rising power of Sikhs. The Sikhs gradually emerged as a political power. Even Rajputs were not very friendly with Mughals. Before the time of Aurangzeb, Rajputs had very good relations with the Mughals, but because of Aurangzeb's faulty policy, Rajput also turns enemy of the Mughals.